Hola, soy yo, Vicky de El Príncipe Presenta otra vez. ¿Cómo estáis? Espero que todo bien contigo. Y bueno, y espero que hayas practicado mucho el español. Vale, hoy, bueno, hablo en inglés mejor. Today, what we're going to look at is a conversation practice using the present perfect, which we've been looking at in previous videos. The present perfect is the tense that we use to talk about things we have done. So anytime we're saying what we have done, we use the present perfect, which in Spanish we make using the verb haber, H-A-B-E-R, and the past participle of what we have done. If you don't know this tense, before you watch this video, you'll need to watch the video that explains about the present perfect tense, because this is a follow-on from that and it presumes that you do know that already. If you're looking at the book, if you're following this video from one of the Break the Language Barrier books, I always do it the wrong way. This is Break the Language Barrier level 2 that we're in, the pain barrier, probably the hardest level, the level 2 with the past tenses. And we are on page 23, página 23, and we're doing the conversation practice present perfect using ever, or which in Spanish is alguna vez. If you don't have the book, but the series of books, but you would like to buy them, they are available on Amazon. Break the Language Barrier, there are 4 levels. But as I always say, you don't need the book to follow the tutorial on YouTube. I will explain it on the video, and also I will read the question out in English first so you know what it is we're saying if you haven't got it written down in front of you. However, you will need to have done the previous tutorial on the present perfect before you can do the conversation practice on the present perfect. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, we're on page 23. Practice A, conversation practice. So we've got a series of questions that you had to translate into Spanish and then answer in Spanish. So I'll be translating them into Spanish and giving my answers. Now, you can only really check the questions. Of course, your answers are particular to you. So your answers are free answers, if you like. But please, if there's anything you want me to check, anything you're not sure of, any difference you had in making the question with the way I make the question, any queries whatsoever, you can always email me, contact me through the website, and I'll be happy to answer any queries that you might have, anything that you're not sure about. Also, if there's anything that you particularly want covered on a YouTube video to do with learning Spanish, please ask and I'll be happy to do a video on that basis. Thank you for all the messages that I've had from people saying how they've enjoyed the videos. That's great, and I'm so pleased about that. I mean, the aim of the videos obviously is to help you learn Spanish, and hopefully that's what's happening. Okay, so we'll go to number 1. So first, tea always important, and it is tea, honestly. It's not vodka, or not yet. Later on today, maybe. So, number 1, have you ever been in Mexico? Now, have you ever been? Now, been is a funny participle because there's actually 3 ways we can say been. We can use it in Spanish. We can use the verb ser, we can use the verb estar, or we can use the verb ir, because depending on, obviously, it's depending on whether it's ser or estar. First of all, you have to work out, is this a case where we use ser or a case where we use estar? And if it was to use ir, the verb to go, We could use it with this question, but it would be, the phrasing in English would be more, have you ever been to Mexico? So in that case, we'd say, ¿has ido alguna vez a México? The alguna vez can more or less go anywhere. You can say, ¿alguna vez has ido a México? Or ¿has ido a México alguna vez? But as I say, that would more probably be being to Mexico. Have you ever been in Mexico? That is location, and we would use estar for location, not ser. If you're not sure about ser and estar, there are lots of tutorials about ser, estar, comparing ser and estar. So it's, you know, ser and estar is just a lifelong battle, really, into deciding which one. So it's always worth watching those and practicing that as much as possible. So let's say, ¿has estado alguna vez en México? And I would say, no, nunca he estado en México. So now, nunca, there is another place you can put nunca as well. But if you put nunca later on in the answer, in the sentence, you would have to use a double negative and say, no he estado en México nunca, or no he estado nunca en México. I'm a great believer in doing whatever's easiest. So for me, it's easier to put the nunca at the beginning, then you don't have to think about a double negatives, and then you don't have to worry about where the no goes, where the nunca goes, etc. So, no, nunca he estado en México. ¿Vale? Número dos, I always give my students an extra point if they find this word in the dictionary rather than just presume it's the same as in English, because the number two is, have you ever seen a UFO? And there is a special saying for UFO in Spanish. So have you ever seen? The verb to see is ver. It's an irregular past participle, visto. So you'd say, ¿has visto un ovni alguna vez? Or alguna vez has visto un ovni? And of course, you can say UFO, but of course, UFO stands for unidentified flying object. So it's an English expression or American expression, whichever. It's not Spanish. So Spanish, we use ovni, which is OVNI. And I think that stands for objeto volante no identificado. So, ¿alguna vez has visto un ovni? And I would say, sí, he visto un ovni. So, I think I have, but not sure. So, muy bien. Y número tres, has visto, again, because it's have you ever seen a ghost is number three. So, has visto alguna vez un fantasma? Now, fantasma ends in A, but it's actually masculine. Has alguna vez, or has visto alguna vez un fantasma? And again, I would say sí, he visto un fantasma. Número cuatro, have you ever lived in another country? Sorry, excuse me. So to live is vivir. Vivir is a regular past participle. So we take off the IR, we add ido. Have you ever lived? ¿Has vivido alguna vez en otro país? So note that country as in England or Scotland or Spain is país, not campo. When you look up country in the dictionary, campo might come up, but that's the countryside. more than, you know, an actual country that you live in. Okay, so has vivido, alguna vez has vivido en otro país? And I would say, sí, he vivido en Inglaterra. Y número 5, we're back to the verb see again. Have you ever seen? ¿Has visto alguna vez a robbery, which is un robo? ¿Alguna vez has visto un robo? And unfortunately, I would say sí, he visto varios robos. Y número 6. Now, this is, have you ever won? Have you ever won a prize? And the verb to win is ganar, which is the same verb as to earn. So you win your money in Spain, not only earn it, and it's the same verb for win and earn. So, has ganado, it's a regular AR verb. So, alguna vez has ganado un premio, a prize. So, and I would say, sí, he ganado un premio alguna vez, ¿vale? Oh, sorry, my battery just seems to have unplugged itself. It must be the phantasma. Oh, how strange. Right. Momentín. Yeah. Oh, sí, el fantasma ha desenchufado el ordenador. Qué raro. Bueno, okay. So I've got to remember where I was now. Sí, ¿has ganado un premio alguna vez? And I would say, sí, he ganado un premio alguna vez. Number 7, have you ever missed a flight or a train? Now, to miss, this is not the verb to miss as in missing a person. So, to miss a person is echar de menos. It's a phrase. To miss a flight, to miss a train, you know, that's in that sense, we use the verb to lose, perder. So it's like almost saying, have you ever lost a flight or a train? So we would say, has perdido, because it's an ER verb, alguna vez, un vuelo o un tren. O alguna vez has perdido un vuelo o un tren? And I would say, sí, he perdido un vuelo o un tren. Now, número 8, have you ever lost all your money? Is, again, it's perder, to lose. So, has perdido alguna vez, o alguna vez has perdido todo tu dinero. Y yo diría no he perdido o nunca he perdido todo mi dinero. Okay, número 9. Have you ever had an accident? So the verb to have, of course, is tener. It is regular in this tense. Tener is quite often an irregular verb in most tenses, but in the past participle, it's regular. So it's has tenido or alguna vez has tenido un accidente. And I would say, bueno, sí, he tenido un pequeño accidente en coche alguna vez. Pero muy pequeño, nada serio, nada grave, nothing serious. Y número 10. Have you ever studied German? Well, study is estudiar. That's a regular AR verb. So the question would be, ¿Alguna vez has estudiado alemán? And I would say, sí, he estudiado alemán muchas veces. Y número 11, again, we're back to the verb have. Have you ever had a dog? So, ¿alguna vez has tenido un perro? And I would say, sí, siempre he tenido un perro. I've always had a dog. Bueno, no cuando era niña, no. Pero desde 26 años, desde 26, 27 años, he tenido un perro siempre. O dos. Y número 12. This is, have you ever met anyone famous? Now, the verb to meet is an interesting one in Spanish because there are 3 different ways of saying the verb to meet that we in English we use meet. So there's meeting up with somebody when you arrange to meet someone. And when you arrange to meet someone in Spanish, you use quedar. Then there's bumping into somebody. You know, if you just bump into someone outside but you're not expecting to see them, that's encontrar. Con. And then to meet somebody, which probably would be the verb that we would use here, to meet somebody for the first time is conocer. So to make this question, we would say, ¿Alguna vez has conocido a personal a? If you don't know what the personal a is, it's mentioned in previous tutorials, just when the verb that we're using actually applies to a person. So, ¿alguna vez has conocido a alguien famoso? And I would say, sí, he conocido a algunas personas famosas. Y número 13. Now, this one is, have you ever been to the United States? So if we're saying, have you ever been to, we would use ir. So, ¿alguna vez has ido a los Estados Unidos? And I would say, no, nunca he ido a los Estados Unidos. Número 14, number 14. Have you ever done anything silly? So the verb to do is hacer. It's an irregular past participle. So it becomes hecho. So, ¿alguna vez has hecho algo tonto? And I would say, sí, muchas veces he hecho algo tonto. Vale. Y número 15, have you ever written a poem? Now, the verb to write, that's another irregular past participle. So, not escribido, it's escrito. So, have you ever written a poem would be, ¿alguna vez has escrito un poema? And then we've got number 16. Have you ever cooked for more than 20 people? So the verb we're going to use is cocinar, to cook. So regular verb and AR verb. So, ¿alguna vez has cocinado para más que 20 personas? Y número 17. Oh, sorry, I need to answer that. I don't think I wrote the one about the poem either. I answered the one about the poem. So, has escrito, alguna vez has escrito un poema? And I would say, sí, he escrito un poema. And then the next one, have you ever cooked for more than 20 people? ¿Alguna vez has cocinado para más que 20 personas? And I would say, sí, he cocinado para más de 20 personas. Y número 17, have you ever bought anything really expensive? So, to buy is comprar, regular AR verb, so it would be comprado. ¿Alguna vez has comprado algo muy caro? And I would say, sí, alguna vez sí, he comprado algo muy caro porque la casa. Y número 18, have you ever bought a red car? So again, it's the verb to buy and the past participle is comprado. ¿Alguna vez has comprado un coche rojo? And I would say, sí, he comprado un coche rojo. Me gusta mucho el color rojo. Y número 19, have you ever spoken to a stranger on a train? So the verb to speak is hablar. What we always have to remember is that in Spanish you speak with people. So we always use con with hablar, not a. So, ¿alguna vez has hablado con un desconocido en un tren? And I would say, sí, muchas veces he hablado con un desconocido en un tren. Oh, y número 20, have you ever told a lie? Well, so to tell is decir, it's irregular, it's dicho. So have you ever told is alguna vez has dicho, and a lie is una mentira. Y I would say, sí, he dicho mentiras blancas. ¿Comprendes? Pequeñas. Solo mentiras blancas, ¿vale? Okay, muy bien. So as I say, anything you're not sure of that you didn't maybe follow in that and you want to ask me, please go ahead and ask. If you found the video useful, please give me a thumbs up. Oh, not down, up. And if you want to. And if you want to receive updates of new videos coming out, please press subscribe and you'll be notified when new videos come out. Again, as I say, if you think the book will be useful to you, or the books, because there's level 1, level 2, level 3 and level 4. We're currently looking at level 2, which has really got most of the past tenses in. So it's a very important level. You can buy it on, well, either through my website or on any Amazon site. Thank you for watching and como siempre, hasta la próxima. Muchas gracias. Adiós.